What's up, family, friends, frenemies, and everybody in between? This is Norman here with the Dezign Studio, and we have a treat for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce you to Miss Dara Prentiss of Fyneprent Productions. I am just elated to have her here. I've been trying to get her here for some time now. She is such a busy lady. Boys and girls, this is black girl magic right here. I'm telling you. It is all about the black girl magic. Hi, Dara.
Hi.
How are you, Dara?
I'm doing great. How are
Good.
you?
Thank you for showing up in my itty bitty studio. I'm going to try to make this as painless as possible. But you know, I'm going in. I am going in. I'm going to tell you that right now.
You have every right.
Okay. Good. Okay, Dara, tell everybody who you are, what you do, a little bit about yourself, a little bit of background, some history. Tell people how they can get to be a Dara Prentiss.
Yeah. So there's no more Dara Prentisses left. This is only one of one. But, you know, I can tell you how to get close. But my name is Dara Prentiss. I am from Richmond, Virginia, and I am the founder and CEO of Fyneprent Productions.
Okay.
I am a black woman producer. So we started in August of 2020. So we just did turn 1 year old. We're a pandemic business, but we're thriving in the same sense that it just kind of showed us, you know, you work hard, you see what you want, you get it, and then you let it just prosper in the only way that it can. So.
Well, all right. What possessed you to be a woman producer?
Honestly, my mentor, when I was leaving Spelman, Aaron Washington, just kind of opened me up to the different things that you can do in theater. My entire background is theater. Mainly acting, and then I decided in high school, I was like, I actually want to do costume design, and so I was doing wardrobing, and I was doing costume design, and I was doing stage aesthetics, and then I just realized that I kind of want to do it all. Like I want this to be my production. You know how you get a little taste of doing a little more, and you're like, okay, I could do that, and then you're like, but honestly, I would do it this way. But I would listen to you. And then it just like struck me like really seeing her work and doing a piece that we did, Black 3000, in my last year. And she kind of allowed me to design the set, paint the set, do the costumes, and be a part of the production. And so from there, I was like, oh, I could do it all.
You got it.
I could do the whole production if I wanted to.
You got it.
You know?
You got it. You know, I heard Spelman.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about Spelman. And
Proud
also,
alumna.
talk to me. You know, I've done my research. I did some
Okay.
background. So you got to tell me about the Colored Museum
Okay.
and the Black 3000.
Yes. So I'm a proud alumna, class of 2018 of Spelman College, the #1 HBCU. Again, for the 12th year. The report just came out. That's not me. But yeah, I loved Spelman. I think that was one of the places in my life where I just realized you could really do anything that you set your mind to. And especially when you're in an environment where you feel like nothing can hold me back, and everybody around me wants me to also be everything that I want to be. So into that, like I said, I wasn't going into college. I wasn't really acting because I was still in my, I want to be a wardrober. Like, I want to do costume design. And so again, for that production too, Joan McCarty, she let me do the costume design. But we had done the wig head scene, which if you look at the George C. Wolfe production of it that's like online and recorded, you see Loretta Devine in there. But we had done it in high school, me and my best friend. And so when I saw it, I was like, okay, I'll do the costumes, but I kind of want to do that too. And she let me audition, and I got the part.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So how was it going through Spelman?
It was
with the boys' college across the street.
It was actually really, it just felt like a home. And I'm not going to say that there weren't hard moments there, because in any place where you're growing and any place that also needs to grow, there's rough parts. There's going to be hard parts. And when you come on the other side of that, you realize I'm on the other side of it.
That's
and
good.
I'm stronger now.
That's
and
good.
I'm
That's
more knowledgeable now.
Okay.
And Morehouse, I'm a football person. So I even got involved in some of the things at Morehouse. Shout out to Turn Tigers. The student section, like, that was just some of the most fun that I've had in college, I think, was just kind of heckling in the crowd at the football games and the basketball games. That was us. We were always in the front. We were always, decked out. That was so much fun. And then also I got to be, I was a Bonner Scholar for all 4 years, and that just really taught me a lot about service and being a pillar in your community. And I got to work in some Atlanta public schools while I was down there through the Bonner Scholarship. I got to create my own initiatives that I then brought into the high school, Booker T. Washington High School, just to get, like, no one really asks students how they feel about going to college, because that's a big thing. And my family, it was like, you're going to high school, you're going to college, okay, and then after that we can talk.
You have some say-so after that.
Yeah. Like, get a career in mind first, and then we can talk about know. And that's just not a reality for a lot of kids. And I realized that in different ways. So the initiative laid on the line was basically just, it was targeted to junior girls. And it allowed them to just kind of write down on a t-shirt and put it on a clothespin of something that they either want to say about going to college that they don't feel comfortable saying, or something that they want to tell to the underclassmen about, this is what I'm going through right now, like going through college.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And they got to just display it out in the library.
That's good stuff.
And it was really cool. Like, just like hearing young women understand that they are to be heard and not to be silenced was just amazing for me, because I didn't even look at it like that. I'm like, y'all want to do something fun? Like, you can just say what you want, like, I'm not gonna put any rules in this. But afterwards, they were just kind of like, I'm just so glad that you opened this opportunity for me to, like, talk to other people or feel like I'm heard. It's really important for students to feel like they are as important as the administration or as the teachers in an institution like that. Because why, like, you wouldn't have that without them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in my research, I realized that you did some work in Chicago.
Yes.
Tell me about the work in Chicago.
Chicago. So I lived in Chicago for about 3 years. And 2 of those years, I was involved in the About Face Youth Theater Ensemble, which is an it's an amazing program. Like, and I think I moved to Chicago in November, and I was just kind of looking for things to like help me get out the house because it was so cold.
Okay.
And they took me right in, and it was just like Zoom. It was like I had already known them for a while.
Wow.
About Face is a theater. They're dedicated to showcasing queer work, and it was just an amazing experience. So in the summer of 2020, the youth ensemble did a devised kind of showcasing of the entire youth ensemble for the last 20 years. So it was the 20th anniversary. So it was the show 2020. We got to go back and read letters in the archives and just like see how the youth ensemble had grown within that 20 years. And then we also had some people come and talk about their lives. Like, we had a lot of people come and talk about their lives in the 80s, especially during the AIDS crisis and how it was to be a queer artist then. And I got to portray one of those people that we interviewed, and it was just, yeah.
It was good, huh?
It was a moving experience. Zara, she's a storyteller in Chicago. And hearing her story anyways at first was just moving, and how the 80s and the AIDS crisis and how it was handled really affected the artist community in the 80s. There's a whole gap actually in artists from the 80s because of so many that died, of so many that weren't receiving the help that they could have gotten as they should have gotten it. And she told this moving story about her living in this building, and slowly, one by one, the people started to die from AIDS. And that was her story of, I lived in this building, it was a whole community, and it was taken away from me because of the lack of resources in Black and brown communities. And it felt crazy to hear it, but to sit in it and to portray her telling that story and then to tell it again, and for her to come up to me afterwards and just say, thank you for telling my story so beautifully. Oh, man. It's an experience that I don't think I could match anywhere else.
That's good.
And so I'm forever grateful to About Face for allowing the opportunity. Yeah.
Well, I have a question about something that I heard as a family member.
Yeah.
You and your sister went out riding around through Chicago, giving out water in the middle of upheaval.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes. That was also in the summer of right after the pandemic, after everything's closed down, there was rioting in Chicago. So in Chicago, public transportation is a big, big thing. So when they rioted and they went into downtown and they looted and they raised the gates, they also cut off the times for grocery stores to be open. So you're looking at local grocery stores that are closing because they're afraid of being looted and being looted anyways. You're looking at them closing at 4, like after they board up, they're closing at 4 p.m. CTA is being shut off at 6:30 p.m. People do not have access to food. They don't have access to formula. We had a nurse. We pulled up to like a gas station and we went to Costco and just got water. We got Gatorades. We got baby formula. We got Pampers. And we put up to a gas station and just opened the trunk. And the amount of people who came and were just like, thank you so much. We have been looking for this. Thank you so much. We can't get this. We had a nurse pull up and said she had been looking for formula for days and gave us $100.
Wow.
It wasn't that she couldn't afford it. She was just like,
just couldn't get to it.
I can't find it. I can't get to it. If you think of nurses, you're at work all day. And so how do you get that? So no one was thinking about that, and so we did, and we started getting donations, and people just poured in the help. So we poured out the blessings. Okay. And we started cookouts, doing cookouts, giving foods, doing groceries and things like that, setting up on the corner 42nd Indiana. Shout out to Bronzeville. And just doing free cookouts. And we ended up having a DJ come, and we were giving out waters, Capri Suns, everything.
Man.
It was amazing. It was
amazing. You guys brought a lot of light into the middle of a hard situation that was going on.
Yes.
That's a good testament to your community awareness and your ability to step up, and do what needs to be called upon. So let's talk here. What do you do to keep? Well, first of all, let me ask you this: is it film? Is it theater? What's your passion?
My passion is Black artists. So whatever they doing, I'm doing.
Okay.
Whatever they need help with, I'm trying to help with.
Okay, so what's your experience with film and or theater? What have you done? What's your repertoire?
Like for me, what have I done, or like so
as far as acting, producing, directing, any of that?
Okay, a little bit of everything.
I know. You say you like to do it all.
Like I was saying, the Color Museum and Black 3000. Black 3000 was a devised piece that I did my senior year of college. And so really after that, I kind of just moved into producing. I think it was also the summer of 2021 that we did Blackadelic. Ekio is a dope artist, also from Chicago. And he wanted to do a music visual. He's like out of this world. When I tell you this, his talent is in another dimension. The song that he did recorded on his iPhone and in his basement, I think. And I was working with Fyneprent Productions at the time. And, we just kind of got it together. We got in Chatham, who's a dope director and cinematographer, and we got in Chicago and did it. And so, yeah, that was like my first thing that I had line produced. And after that, I was like, okay, more. And so I was still working with Soul Center. But it wasn't until August that I really just decided that I want to do this for me, and I want to do this for me. Like, I want to have something that I can set the parameters on, that I can choose what I want to do and who I do it with. And I was working with a store, like a clothing store, and I got together with him, the owner of it, to do like a pop-up shop. And we worked it out. We were working on it for like maybe 4 to 6 weeks. And to be honest, it was one of the worst working experiences I ever had.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was kind of awful.
What made it so awful?
It was just like a combination of, I guess, the expectations that I wasn't understanding. And it was also like my first project. And so I'm very self-critical and I'm very self-aware. And so, where you just overanalyze everything that you're doing and everything like that.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me.
And, and I want to do that before we get to the table.
Oh, God.
So once we get there, I'm already like, look, I've already figured this out. But that was the best teaching experience I could have asked for. And it just really made me look at, okay, so do you want to do this with everybody? What do you want to do? You need to single that out, because you can't just, when you're in your own business, when you're in your own thing, you cannot sit back and say, well, I don't want to do this, but I'm doing it. Because you don't have to. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why have you heard of the 5 whys?
No.
If you can do something, right? If you're doing something, or if you say something and someone asks you why 5 times and you cannot answer every single why, don't do it.
Okay, that my kids, and I would work with them too. I would keep going. Okay, well, you gonna stop this at some point?
Yeah. No, until you stop, don't stop.
Yeah.
And so it really made me look at those 5 whys and really hone in and focus.
Okay.
And decide, like, how I want to portray myself in business. And like you said, I mean, I've done a couple things. I've been an actress before, and I've tried directing, and I've looked into producing. This was at the time that I looked into producing, and I'm like, you have to decide, because you can't be on the wall, you can't be on the fence for the rest of what you want to do. You can't focus on the fence. It's too shaky up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
So let me ask you. I know in my business, I've had some of those times where it's like, okay, I'm going to give this up.
Yeah.
This is just, I mean, I can't get this right. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So have you had those moments?
Yes. One of them was right after that. I was like, oh,
this is not the job for me.
I said, let me go find a waitress to be. I need some tips.
Oh, man. IHOP is hiring right now.
That drive-thru is looking real nice right now.
That's cool.
But yeah, I think it's important to go through that of like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Because like I said, then you go back and look at yourself and say, well, what do you want to do?
Okay.
And why?
So let me ask you, is that the mirror or is that somebody else that's in your ear? Because I know a lot of times my wife would say, look, this is what you want to do. You really need to put your time into it. And sometimes it's in the bathroom, like looking in the mirror, what do you want to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So which was yours? What was your...
Mine was also a little bit of both.
Okay.
So it was a lot of like self-reflecting. But it was also that I was working for another company also while I was starting my company.
Okay.
And I started it, and I was just like, okay, I have a company now. Okay, I have a logo. Okay, I have an Instagram. And I was like, I'm official. So no one can tell me anything. But it took me also looking at the company I was working for and being like, are you putting this much work into your company? Are you focusing the same way you would if this was your meeting? And I wasn't. And I'm like, it's not enough to say I have a company. It's not enough to say I'm an entrepreneur. It's not enough to say I'm a Black woman producer, because you can have 500 Black women producers, but without action, without producing anything, without being there and like actually becoming what you say you want to become in any sense, whether it's the beginning, whether you're developed in the middle, whether you're finishing out, you have to put that work into it. And I wasn't doing that.
Okay. Just got to put the work in.
Yeah.
So what's your main motivating factor? What is it that keeps you motivated?
Okay, I have a couple of things.
Give me a couple of them.
My family, most definitely.
Okay.
The fact that I didn't know what I wanted to do until I graduated college. Time. So family, time, and Black artists. I just feel like, I just feel this whole soul tie to independent Black artists. And I just feel like if I don't do anything before I leave this world, let me have propelled somebody into the audience that they deserve.
Okay.
And with my family, I've been blessed with a wonderful family and just really supportive parents, supporting anything that I've wanted to do, supporting anything, because in the arts now, people they're not real confident in there. They be like, you want to act? Okay.
Well.
You want to do what? And even still, it's like, so you don't want to be in front of the camera? Or they're like, so your degree is in theater, but you don't act? It's a lot of questions about it. And I also realized that everybody doesn't get that same support also. And so I feel like it would be a disservice to not continue that support in any way I can that I've received.
Okay. So if you could live an artistic movement, which would you choose?
Ooh. It would have to be the Harlem Renaissance. I just think that it was unmatched. Like, if you've ever seen
I could see you in Cotton Club.
That's exactly. I'm like, if you ever see the Cotton Club, who wouldn't want to be in there? Like, I'm all for the tapping my foot. I'll wear the feathers. I'll do it all. I want to tap on the door like a speakeasy and do the password. I'm all for that. And I just feel like it was another experience being a Black artist in that time.
Had to be awesome.
What?
Had to be awesome.
What?
Dizzy Gillespie, all of these guys.
Oh, come on.
Ellington. Oh, man. Had to be awesome.
It had to be. And you're also at the birth of so many movements to come. Mm-hmm. So I know that these are just the ideas and the music and the stuff that made it this far. You know?
Absolutely.
Imagine all the stuff that we missed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, if you could not do this business, now you told me we've already established why you do the business, because you want to do it all anyway. Yeah. You really enjoy this. So if you could not do this business, what would you be doing? I mean, other than IHOP.
Right. I'd be waitressing. No. I'd probably be teaching.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I have that background in education, working with Atlanta Public Schools for that 4 years, coming to Chicago and doing City Year in Chicago Public Schools, and just being with students is an amazing experience. It feels good. It feels good to do that transference of knowledge. And, students... I just think that I get so much energy, and you learn so much from students as well. That's always a fun experience to me. So shout out to Collins High School.
Now, you told us about some of the projects that you've done.
Yeah.
Haven't heard them all, but I'm going to Google you in a few minutes. Okay. No, a little bit later on. And we're going to find out everything that you did. What was your favorite project?
My favorite project... favorite project is probably Blackadelic. And I know I keep talking about Ekio, but he's just so dope.
Tell us more about this Blackadelic.
Blackadelic is his piece, and it's like a musical visual, and it's basically a commentary on the whole world. But I think why it was one of my favorites is because and I tell this story all the time, but Chatham. So we're on a meeting before we start filming, and he's never been to Chicago before. Uh-huh. And so he's giving me a list of these things that he wants, and he's like, a body of water or a swimming pool, a long sidewalk with nobody on it. We need a wide open field. We need a stoop. We need here's a couple of other things. And in my head, I'm just thinking, you've never been to Chicago, huh? Because I'm like, so I was doing location scouting for that too. And I was just like, where do I find all this stuff? Like, who do I ask? Does he know that stoops belong to people's houses? Like, we can't just go and borrow a stoop. But it also taught me a lot about myself because, like I said, that was my first producing project. And when I was first tasked with it, I was like, I don't know anything about producing. And I just kind of put my head down and I was like, well, it's just going to have to be what I can figure out. And then it ended up working out. And that was another moment. I feel like my life is just propelled by these moments of like, oh, I could do that. Oh, I think I could do that. Like, or just figuring out in the end of it, like, wow, I did that. All right, add it to the resume. Let's keep going. Add it to services.
Excuse me. How many times have you made the mistakes? Have you, jumped into saying that you can do something and then getting into it and finding out it was way more difficult than it looked?
Yes, a couple more times. And really, it's because I am a busybody. And I'm just like, yes, we could do that. Yes, we could do that. Yes, we could do that. But I'm also famous for scheduling up to every minute of every day.
Okay.
And so my problem is that I'll say, all right, I have a meeting from 6 to 7. We can fit you in at 8.
Oh, man.
And we'll fit you in at 8 to 9, and then we'll have a debriefing from 9:30 to 10, and then maybe I'll go to sleep. This is after work. And then I'll get to like 7:30 and I'm like, why am I so exhausted?
Oh my goodness.
Because you've been up for 13 hours already. And then I still have my schedule for the day. So it's really in capacity because like I said, I want to do it all.
Okay.
I want to do it all. And I try.
Okay. Okay. I see you've been involved in sitcoms.
Yes,
You
yes.
develop a sitcom.
I am developing a sitcom. So, Dara Prentiss, amazing writer. So this year also, Fyneprent Productions is commissioning Black women playwrights, too. And we have Dara Prentiss, who is dope with a capital dope. Okay, and she came to me with this sitcom that she's been writing. And all the ideas are there. And so I'm like, this is funny. I'm reading it and she gonna get me. It's formatted crazy. It's in a Google Doc. And I'm reading it like a list, like a bulleted list. But I'm still laughing at the jokes.
Oh my goodness.
That are happening in there. And so I'm like, oh, we got to get this formatted. We got it formatted. And now we are on episode 3.
Okay.
And it is a telling story of just college for Tim, the main character, and what he's going through, and he experiences a traumatic event.
Okay.
And so he also has to continue on through his tenure with his PTSD, dealing with his friends and things like that. Okay. So, and it's a comedy. And it is funny as,
Okay. Okay. So walk us through how that's developed.
Yeah. So like I said, she came with me. She came to me with an idea, with her script, pretty much already written out, and the scope of her story. So what I do is I take it and break it down. So we break it down and we start with labeling your characters, labeling your scenes. Let's go through and see if we can edit the writing so that you're saying exactly what you want to say. And then we move from there. We take your ideas from there and we start deciding, do we want this to be episodic? Do we want it to be a film? Do you want it to be anything else, a play, a stage play? And so we really there's a formatting software that we use to put it in the script, and then we just go and look at it and we go through the ideas. And I am still learning a lot of screenwriting formatting. Okay. And so that's one thing that we are learning together. So we'll go and research something and then come back and see if it applies to our script. We'll go and just sit there and read through, just me and her. We're reading all the characters just to see how it sounds, to see how it is. And then what I'm doing is mainly holding her accountable to writing. Like, okay, we want to have episode 3 by this day, so I'm going to check in with you. I have an alarm on my phone at 3 o'clock every day to remind her to write. Just making sure that the content is there. If the content is there, we can format it and squish it, and we can make it work and fit in wherever you want it to fit in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about Fyneprent Productions.
Yes.
This is, you told me everything that you're doing. I'm pretty sure not everything that you're doing so far, because you seem like a type A, high energy, no caffeine needed kind of person. So, so tell me about Fyneprent Productions.
Yes. So Fyneprent Productions is dedicated to providing services to independent artists. And I mean engagement services, daily check-ins, development services. We are trying to raise audiences for Black artists, that deserve it. We are raising engagement for Black artists that would benefit from having a larger base.
Okay.
So if that is doing some social media revamping for them,
Okay.
if that is developing their sitcom, if that is going in and doing an interview for you, and making sure that you have some content to share. So we not only do that, but on the actual film side of it, producing short films, doing line producing, helping with shooting dates, getting the logistics together for that. And then also working on engagement events for other companies. So as of right now, we have a couple of contracts open. We'll be working with Black Theater Mechanics on some of their social media things. So make sure you go look out for them and follow them. Oceanana Rising is another theater company. Nina Angela Mercer. She is a wonderful human being, and I can't wait to continue the work with her with Fyneprent. We are actually also working with Africana Film Festival, so we'll be doing some engagement events with them as well, and as well as Whisk Classic Cakes and Bakes. So we'll be doing some social media content generation for them. So just look out for everybody, because if we can help it, it's going to be all in your face.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Let me ask you, what have been some of the biggest obstacles to your company? Is the fact that you're a Black woman, has that been a sticking point for anybody, or a deal breaker or anything like that?
Well, truth be told, I feel like being a woman in a usually male-dominated field, you get in a lot of rooms and men think that you work for them, no matter what. And so it's a strange dynamic, because you can be telling them what to do and they still ask you to take notes. Yeah.
Grab me a cup of coffee.
Right. Right. Exactly. It's like, I'm taking notes on what I'm saying. Like, I took the notes. That's what I'm telling you about. And so I think that has been that's been a difficult thing to work through. But it's also been a testament of saying no. Like, I'm not here for that. That's not my job. I don't do that. And so once you stand firm in yourself, which you almost always have to do, then, you start to get the message across. You need to ask somebody to take notes. You should have thought of that before you came here. I'm thinking of everything else. You couldn't think of that. And then it's like, yeah. But the other thing I think would be is just having the financial support. It's difficult to really put that dedication and focus on your dreams when you're already in the red. Or when you have to think about, do I want to invest in this, or can I pay my rent? And that's hard. And so even in starting Fyneprent, I didn't want to ask for anyone's help without paying them, because I have been in the situation too many times where I've been helping and the benefit has been for them entirely. You know what I mean? And at the end, you're like, okay, great. I had this wonderful experience and I really learned a lot, but I'm about to go home and and see if I can scrape some of the paint off the fridge and put some cheese on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you really have to decide your, and I hate saying this, but it's like deciding your worth. You know, you have to look at different projects and being like, do I want to work for $2 an hour?
Wow.
No.
Nah.
But is working for $2 an hour right now going to provide me like open doors later? Maybe. Can I afford to work for $2 an hour and still come home to lights? Then it's like, all right, I'm going to go read a book about it.
Let's figure something out.
Let's we can figure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in everything that you've been doing, and all of the production stuff, the work stuff, what is it that you couldn't figure out and you had to get help with?
It was like taxes. I'll just say it. I'm afraid of the IRS. I do not know what they will do. And starting my company, it was just like, okay, once you get that first contract.
Oh, man.
And you're like, okay, I send in my invoice. And then they pay you. And then you're like, don't I have to pay 5% on this sometime soon?
You gotta pay something, yeah.
And then you're like, well, who's going to know? And then the IRS will know. So
they have flies with cameras on them.
there has to be, and I don't want to be stuck into that. They are ruthless. So it's definitely figuring out taxes and working as a independent contractor, working as like a business, finding out subsidiary information and LLC information. It is difficult. Yeah.
That's it.
And that's yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, baby. I hire people.
Yeah.
I have a tax person. I just keep all of my receipts, organize them with the travel and all that good stuff, and I take it to a professional. I do not want to be red flagged. Please don't audit me.
Yes. Please. I don't know what I did.
I'm sorry.
Here, take it.
I didn't mean it. 32 more payments, this going to be mine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me some things you have coming up. What you got coming up? What's going on?
So, in October, we're going to be doing a reading of Polar Rock, the first 2 episodes, which I'm so excited to do. And also, we'll have some engagement events coming up with Africana Film Festival in the Candela Gallery. So, stay tuned for that. And drum roll, this weekend, A Family That, which is a short film produced by Fyneprent.
That's the one with CL.
Yes, CL, who was here earlier.
Yeah.
Will be in the Africana Film Festival. So they'll be showed on Saturday at 12, A Family That. And so you can buy tickets to go see it online, or you could buy an all access pass, and that'll let you into all the movies. There's some wonderful, wonderful movies being showcased this weekend. So that's a major thing to go check out.
Okay. Well, you got to help me with the pronunciation of this. What is Samani Hair and Care?
Samani. Okay, yes. So me and a Spellman sister, Akia Moore, we are starting a black hair market basically online. And so what we are doing is we're getting black vendors to come and sell their things on our website. But it's dedicated to hair. And I'm talking extensions. I'm talking hair care. We want body care, skin care, makeup, everything. And we're giving first. We want to focus on black women business owners. And so that's who we're really searching out to. But of course, we're down to accept anybody who has anything to contribute. So That website will be launched at the end of this year.
Okay.
And we'll be holding open for vendors to also submit their products and so that we can put it up on our site.
Outstanding. That's great. That's great. So, Dara, do you have any videos or anything that you would like to contribute that you've done?
There is content on my website. You can go to www.daraprentiss.com.
Okay.
And we'll be updating also weekly starting next week because we actually hired on one more person, but now we are a crew of 3. So I'm excited. We have a project manager, we have a social media manager, an executive assistant. So I'm excited. We are jumping. We're taking that leap.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Miss Dara Prentiss, the owner of Fyneprent Productions and the co-founder of Samani
Yes.
Hair and Care. I'm going to get this right, guys. I promise you, I'm going to get it right. And this has been a fantastic interview. I have got to admit, this has been one of my easiest interviews, guys. So, before we close out, I'm going to show some of her content. Dara, is there anything you'd like to add before we close out?
Just go follow Fyneprent_Productions on Instagram and stay tuned for all the new things that's coming up.
I wonder if they see me on my knees, begging please. I can't breathe, but they let me be. But you know what, I keep holding up. And I got anger in my blood. And I looked over my shoulder and saw a brother with a gun and it went bang. He shot the sheriff and went running on his way. He shot the sheriff and went running. I'm trying to breathe and I suffocate. Somebody said the air been strange these days. Somebody said the air ain't been the same. Somebody said the air might never change. I spoke to a sister that said she fell to addiction. She said her vice was bitches and she could broaches to fix it. I'm about to break it down. I'm about to break it down. The love she thought she had was never found. She said, I'm trying to breathe, but I suffocate. Somebody said the air been strange these days. Somebody said the air ain't been the same. Somebody said the air might never change. Now the pressure on my mind, wishing I could fly. Pushing man got me to the sky. God gave me looking for the signs. Trying to breathe, but I suffocate. I wonder if they see me on my knees, begging please. I wonder if they see me on my knees, begging please. I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. But they let me up, begging. Get your fucking knee up off my neck, begging please. I wonder if they see me on my knees, begging please, please. I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, please. I can't breathe, no, please. Tell me something. You want it all. You want my money. You want my money. I can have my life. You want my freedom. I tried to break it off. I tried to shake it off. But I'm turning the same. This world got me spinning around. I fall to the ground. I'm trying to breathe, but I don't know which way to go, which way to turn, which way to run, which way to go, which way to turn, which way to go, which way to turn, which way to run. I'm tired. I'm tired of being sick and tired. Tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of being sick and tired. 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 This world got me turning around. I'm trying to find which way to run, which way to turn, which way to go, which way to turn, which way to go. But they everywhere, but they everywhere. And I'm trying to find myself. I'm trying to kick down. I'm trying to run away. I'm trying to run away, but they all around. They're all around. They're all around. Bingo. They're all around, and I can't even see. Bingo. I can't even see, cause they knocking down my door. Knocking down my Damn you! Damn you! For every fucking thing you've done. Those bullets, those guns, you know how to fuck us over, word to Homer. You know what's worse than throwing money at a strip club? America. Ding, 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 ding. You want a one-way ticket to kiss my ass? They break into the bank. Bitch better have their money come Sunday, cause the bill is due. Praise the Lord. Your God is not my God. God. You! And she went missing. And she went missing like a magic trick. Who's the world's greatest magician? Damn you for making us hate us, for us, by us. I'm standing here with a fully loaded rifle, ready to go to war. I'ma squeeze this motherfucker till my trigger finger sore. It ain't fair. I'd rather kill to live than to die and live. Scared, wrong nigga, and I dare you to call me a nigga. I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't go there, I can't go there, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't go there, I can't do this, I can't do that without getting my black ass shot. Mama, damn you. Da 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 da. All right, guys, and this is where you can contact Miss Dara Prentiss. Is at her Dara Prentiss at Fyneprent Productions. Thank you so much, Dara.
Thank you.
And give your sisters a shout out.
Yes, shout out to Maya and Jana. They're just spread all over this world right now.
All right, now. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be back.